About a month passes. Not a whole lot goes on. Things die down. Of course, you're getting into the Christmas season. So, anybody want to do anything particular for the Christmas season?
I'm decorating my house. On the outside, I have lights and a tree in the window.
Yeah.
I'll probably be putting together some sort of Christmas feast for the city homeless.
Oh, I gotcha. Right. Very good.
My money from the LLC.
You had gotten a lot more business from some of the locals since your name has kind of gotten out there about you being an artificer. So you're getting more work, making a good bit of money, which you guys really don't have a problem with money. Also, if you remember, I told you that you'd had about $1 million in the LLC now. Mm-hmm. So you've got plenty of money to pull from, and your own bank accounts are up to $30,000 now. So yeah, you've got some savings now. You can put together a really nice feast if you want to, and pretty much cater all of it, and it won't be an issue. And there's always good places to eat in New Orleans, so you can get some good food for some folks. Yeah, $30,000 to put together a nice feast, and then of course you got $1 million you can draw from when you need to. So that's just a ton of cash.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so homeless feast. You're working, playing gigs. Right, and learning how to be the autumn knight. Jody, you're decorating your house, and Volt, what about you, sir?
I guess working out and taking contracts.
Right. I haven't gotten a whole lot of contracts. It's Christmas season. Things kind of die down until after the New Year. As you know, everything from Thanksgiving until the New Year is pretty much nobody works or does anything. They just kind of chill out and go, yeah, we'll get you in the New Year and things like that. Yeah.
I am still working with Carla.
Right.
Too.
Carla
There's
and
probably
Hera.
a little more time to work with Carla. Oh, yeah.
Right. Carla has
work with them since they don't have school. And,
right. Carla has been progressing well. She's been coming. Well, now Carla works, so she comes I think twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she's been. You realize she's going to be quite a talented magician, possibly on par with you eventually. She has a lot of really good power and quite good control. Hera doesn't have much power. She's very good at channeling energy away from herself, which means she's great at blocks and defensive attacks, unless somebody throws something at her and she can have enough time to prepare to channel it back to them. She really can't do much. She just doesn't have much oomph. She's just got lots and lots of control. She still has the ability to kind of see about 3 to 5 seconds in the future, which is not terribly useful most of the time. I mean, generally, if it's only 3 seconds in the future, you really don't have much time to do anything about it.
Yeah.
But again, it makes her very defensive because if I know you're going to take a swing at me 3 seconds before you do, I know not to be there. That gives me 3 seconds to not be where you're swinging.
Yeah,
so
imagine her like growing up. She's gonna be like magical Aikido master.
That's exactly what. And she is the magical Aikido master. That's probably the best way to put. Well, or she will be. Right now, she's still learning how to control that, how to keep things from hitting her. She's only recently realized what magic is. She just realized it was ribbons, and she would just take the ribbons and tie them together, and they would go away from her. So she's learning how to do things kind of on the fly. Right. Christmas comes along. You probably spend time with your respective families. Everything goes pretty quietly. Nice Christmas. No snow or anything like that, but it is New Orleans. And then right before New Year's, every single one of you gets a invitation. Della, you're waking up one morning. It's in the interim time between Christmas and New Year's, and the little cup that Elias Dupree had given you starts wiggling. What the heck is going on? So you go over to the cup, and of course fill it with water. Not coffee because it makes the picture jittery. Mm-hmm. And you look into the water and you can see Elias Dupree's face in the water. And he says, Della, glad I caught you. I wasn't sure about the time difference between here and there, but I was hoping I wouldn't catch you too early.
Hi, Elias.
It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, which means it's probably too early, but that's okay. It doesn't matter.
awake.
Yeah, you're right. He says, we have a situation, not a bad one, but there is a bit of a soiree that's being thrown in town, and a representative of the White Council has been requested. And you, as our warden for the city, will have to go as a representative.
Okay.
It's being hosted at the Devonees Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
So as a duly appointed emissary of the White Council, you will need to be there. You should be getting a knock on the door pretty soon, and it's almost on command. Dum, 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 dum. There's a knock on the door.
Okay, so is there anything before I go into this door, is there anything I should know about the soiree?
Well,
things to be concerned
remember
about?
Well, you're more familiar with the Devonees than I am, but remember that they are very anti-White Council. So this is a chance possibly for us to bring them into the fold, or at least make an alliance with them, which would not be a bad idea. So if you wouldn't mind, don't screw up.
And, thank you.
No pressure.
And did they reach out to you?
Oh, they reached out to the White Council requesting a representative, and then you hear dunk, 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 dunk on the door again. And he says, "Oh, did I hear someone knocking on your door? That's probably the official invitation from the Devonees."
And I just want to let you know, do you know that I'm very familiar with the Devonees?
Of course. That's
okay.
Why I figured you would be the perfect... Well, I mean, you're the only warden in the city, really. But the reason I'm not going is because you know them much better than I do.
Okay. I just want to make sure I understood what I was walking into. All right, thank you.
Well, and he says, exactly what you're walking into. This is a society that is anti-White Council, requesting a White Council representative. Don't trust anybody. But you know that. You've lived in the city.
They're just trying to force me to... Yeah, I got it. I'm good.
He says, well,
all right, thank you,
be careful. And if you need anything, make sure you're wearing your pin.
Yes.
So he cuts the connection. You go to the door, open it up. No? No?
As soon as I got the connection, I'm going to go ahead and get my pin.
Okay.
Just because I find the knock on the door
right.
kind of a little too timing.
Too convenient to time. Yeah. Okay, you put your pin on with your warden cloak and go to the door.
Yes.
Open it. Okay. There's a young boy standing there. You can see his bike is parked up against one of the front posts of where your hedgerow is. And he says, "I have a delivery for a Miss Della Fontenot." Is that right?
That's me.
Oh, this is for you. And he hands you one of those, registered mail envelope-looking things that says UPS, or not UPS, but USPS. Yeah, you got mail. And he says, "Okay, well, sign here." Hands you a little thing to sign. Sign it. He says, "All right, thanks." And he goes back, gets on his bike. He's got his helmet on, and zoom, off he goes on this little 10-speed. You can open it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a minute to kind of look around.
You can close your door and stuff. No, it doesn't seem like anybody out there.
Close my door.
Right. And remember, you've got your wards. You've had time to make sure your wards are up. You probably had time to put at least reasonably strong wards around their houses if you want. You don't. Well, okay, you could use wards, but you've got the might of the autumn night to call upon them. A host of fairies, so you're probably okay. So yeah, you gonna pull it open?
Yeah.
All right. Rip. You open it up, and there's an envelope, and it's actually
End story.
No, it's actually got a nice green seal that looks like it's got a ring that has a kind of a double D in it, not Daredevil. And so you're gonna break the seal. Yeah. You gonna break the seal? Mm-hmm. You open the envelope, out comes this beautiful, heavy linen paper, and it's written in this, looks like somebody actually physically wrote this stuff. It's not printed out. And it says, "You are cordially invited to a 12th night celebration of the Devonees. Gifts are acceptable, but not necessary, though gift giving will occur on that night. You are allowed to bring one guest. Please remember, the rules of hospitality of the Sealy Accords will be enforced." And what that means is that no one will attack you or hurt you while you are there.
Right.
If they do, they've broken the kind of magical accords that will cause everybody else who is a magical creature in the world could then descend upon them. Now, you have no idea if the Devonees have signed the Sealy Accords. So they may not be bound by that at all, but they are saying that they're at least guaranteeing you safe.
And it's the trip
passage.
there and back that's the dangerous part.
Well, possibly. And it says that you will meet on the corner of Canal and St. Charles Street to board a streetcar to ride to the gala.
Okay.
And there you go. Alrighty.
12th night, is that the 13th of December?
I think it's the 6th.
It's the 6th of January.
6th of January, right.
Yeah.
So it's actually after the New Year.
The start of Mardi Gras.
Yes, start of Mardi Gras, that's right.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little curious there because I wasn't sure if you said 12th night or 12-night celebration. I was like, oh Lord.
That's where, no. What? A party? Yeah. Well, then, again, it's the 12 days of Christmas thing. So
A lot
this
of
is the
people
12th day
end
of
up
Christmas.
dead at the
Right.
the
Yeah.
12th.
Correct. Or
I don't know, I
unconscious.
always
That's a
thought they
little
were the days
failure.
leading into Christmas, not starting from Christmas and headed out, but that's interesting.
Well, the 25th is the first day of Christmas, and then January 6th would be the 12th day of
Interesting.
Christmas.
Okay,
Correct.
cool,
and
cool.
again, notice each day they get a different gift, and so there will be gifts. So you're not required to bring one. Everybody will receive a gift from the Devonees.
Jean-Marie.
So there you go.
Jean-Marie.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who do
Romeo.
you want to do next?
Wait, but I've
sorry.
also been in contact with Miss Clara. Just back and forth. So
Sure.
I'm.
She hasn't had any contact with Sidney St. Clair at all. He has not. He has not said anything to her.
But I'm
Alright.
gonna take her like some Christmas gifts or whatever. I don't know when that's falling on her.
Okay. Oh yeah, you can do that. Well, this is past Christmas, but you probably had Christmas at her house.
Okay. alright.
Actually, yeah.
We'll just go with that.
'Cause since your family is no longer in the city, you probably spent it with her. Darwin,
Me.
you are working at your house one day, and you realize that you are out of mandrake root that you need for one of the thaumaturgical things that you need to do.
It's a shame.
Yes. So you decide to head out to Marie Laveau's Voodoo Emporium because it's a pretty good place. You head there. It's right behind Jackson Square, and head into the voodoo shop. And there you see Anne Marie, the woman the attractive, I won't say older, but middle-aged woman who you saw there before.
Right.
The one that you had the soul gaze with.
Right.
You go wandering around the shop, probably seeing all their kind of kitschy candles and silly voodoo dolls and things like that that are there for the tourists.
They
And
do
then
have
you
some nice candles though.
they do. They smell nice too. But the good stuff is behind the counter where
Right.
she kind of keep an eye on it. Wander up to the counter and
Hello.
she says, "Oh, Mr. Darwin, wasn't it?"
It is.
Oh well, nice to see you again. Is there something I can help you with? She seems very very friendly.
Yeah, I was just curious. I seem to have ran out of some mandrake root.
I have mandrake root. Very good. I'll grab. How much do you need?
Um,
Not a whole lot.
not much.
All right. Well, I'll grab it from back here. She turns around to one of the little glass jars, reaches in with a glove and a rubber glove, puts it into a Ziploc bag, seals it up, kind of closes it down, and she says, "That'll be $5.25. But I have a favor I would like to request."
This is very strange. Yeah. Sure.
Well, knowing what we know about each other, I've been invited to a 12th night soiree at the Devonees Mansion. You may be familiar with them. They're a magically active group in town. I was wondering, since I'm allowed to bring a +1, I was wondering if you'd be willing to go. It is formal.
It is formal.
Yes. So you will need to make sure you have a good suit.
Well, I mean, that being said, I don't think I've ever really been invited to a formal affair before.
Well, it should be a good time. There'll be lots of food. There are gifts being given. So you will receive something from the Devonees. And knowing them coming from the upper crust of the society in New Orleans, you'll probably get something kind of fun.
That's how you get me.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Magical or otherwise, I'm not really sure. But yes. So is that a yes then?
Why not? That sounds wonderful.
She says it's January 6th. We're meeting at 8 o'clock at Canal Street in St. Charles. We're going to board a streetcar and then ride to the Devonees Mansion. Actually, we'll be, I think, a part of one of the first crews that goes. It's the Funny 40 Fellows, and we'll be riding on the streetcar to the Devonees Mansion, and then we'll be getting off there, and they'll continue on the rest. So yeah, it should be fun. If you want to wear a mask, it is a masked ball. So I forgot to tell you that. It is a masked ball. So make sure you get a mask from somewhere. Of course, there's lots of masks in the city. So.
Interesting.
And she says, "Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And the mandrake's on the house.
Oh, well, thank you so
If you're going to
much.
give me your time, then at least I can do is give you free mandrake."
Fair enough. Guess I'm off to find a suit.
Cool. And she hands you your little bag, and you head off to find a suit. Anything in particular you're looking for? And knowing you could probably even armor this suit if you want.
I'm not gonna lie.
The
thought
John
of
Wick
making a
thing.
magical mask is just
You could get an armored Armani.
The
armored Armani.
No, there you go. You could probably
Armani.
do that.
Armani.
You know, you can even get
We're all trying to
bespoke.
figure out
There's
more
some
about
nice
that.
places with expensive
Armani.
suits, and you do have money to burn. I mean,
I'm
it's
not
not an
gonna lie,
issue.
because like there have been so many things I sit there and it's like because I've already been thinking about this, and the fact that like you're giving me the option to do this
yes.
is enough for me to just be like, I can buy a nice suit.
Good. All right, so you're gonna head out to get a suit.
Yes.
All right. You're able to find a very nice suit place. You're not buying off the rack. They go in, they take your measurements, give you several different show you several different types of styles, and you're able to pick the one you like the best, colors, patterns, the whole 9 yards. It is kind of the beginning of Mardi Gras season, so they suggest maybe going with something that maybe uses Mardi Gras colors, something along those lines. And you're able to find this really nice kind of black and gray suit that very subtly has green, gold, and purple pinstripes worked into it, but it's really faint. So it's tasteful, very tasteful. And it's a good charcoal suit, so you could wear it for,
It could be used for multiple occasions.
Yeah, it's a charcoal suit, so you could use it for funerals.
Not
and stuff.
outstanding enough to be like, why would you wear that here? But just enough to be like, oh, that's nice.
That's kind of nice, yeah, and very stylish. You're heading over there. You get your measurements done. You get back to your place. You pull the mandrake out, and out falls this little note. And yeah, and so you unroll it, and it in this kind of flowing handwriting says, "This night will probably be very, very dangerous. Make sure you come prepared." And then it says Anne Marie.
She's got some
Damn it.
designs on it.
Definitely might want to armor that suit. Which you could work an armor spell into it probably in a couple
course
days.
she slipped
It may
and
not
said a
last
note
for the life of the
after
suit.
I
Well, it may
said
last.
yes.
for
Yeah,
the life
that's
of the
the
suit.
entire thing. It's like, I can't back out now. I'm already committed. It's
Yeah.
I bought the suit.
Yeah, that's right.
She's like, I know what to say up front and what to slip in a note for him to find.
Are you
later.
wanting to put some armor on the suit too?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. You could probably work. What's your? What is your? Blah, 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 blah. We're doing thaumaturgy. What is your discipline? No, I'm sorry. What is your lore?
5.
Okay. You can probably using the mandrake you just bought, you can get yourself up to probably an armor. How long do you want the armor to last? If you just want it to last the night, you can probably do armor 3. If you want it to last longer than that, you're probably going to be stuck with armor 2.
When we say longer than that, are we just talking about like another day or so after that, or are we talking about like more of a permanent thing? At
Like
that
a
point?
week. If you actually want now, well, no, hang on. Actually, you got some stuff on top of that. Knowing that you're an artificer and thinking along those lines, you could probably actually get it to armor 3 and it'd be reasonably permanent. Now that could take the place of one of your, slots that you have for potions and things like that. So you could have an armored suit, and then of course between games you could swap it out for a potion or something else. So it could just be something that you have in your closet. You just need to let me know if you're going to actually wear it and carry it or whatever.
Fair enough. And I like that. I really do like that idea. I will say that I did pick up a stunt, and
Okay.
it's high quality workspace.
Ooh. Okay. So you've been upgrading your area where you're doing your thaumaturgy. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. What does it allow you to do, by the way?
So it says personal workspace quality equals resources, or
Wow.
at -2 resources, but fulfill 2 functions.
Yeah, your resources right now, I think everybody's got like a 3 or a 4.
I have a 4.
Yeah, that's right, because you are already at a 3.
Yeah.
So that'll definitely allow you to make it easier for you to do your artificing. So yeah, you could definitely do armor 3 reasonably permanent. Yeah, that's
Okay.
cool. Volt. You're working in your warehouse, probably lifting concrete blocks and stuff like that, and working out to get stronger. Not a whole lot's been going on right now. You've got a pretty good horde,
Yeah.
even if it's only 1s and 0s in the computer. It's
That's fine.
still harder to steal that
I still
way.
got the hole underneath the
Right,
Connex box too.
right. Was that where you have the gems?
The gems,
Right.
Jack the Ripper's knife,
that's right.
the AKs,
That's
all that
right.
stuff.
So there's a knock on the door. I won't say the roll-up door. It's actually the door to your building. Dun, 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 dun.
The upstairs one or the,
The downstairs one. I think
side door to this roll-up door?
Yeah, the side door to the roll-up door. I think you took out the door that was upstairs. And
I
took
did.
Out,
That's
yes.
right. Yep.
Didn't want anybody sneaking up there.
Nah, that's weird.
So yeah, the knock on the door. It's not loud. Just
Okay. I go up and I just open the door.
Okay. Anastasia's standing out there. She's wearing jeans, leather jacket, got the long dark hair, the pretty big dark eyes, and she says, "Hey, Volt, hadn't talked in a while. I need a favor."
Well, do come in.
Oh, wow! You have done a lot to the place, and so you invite her in, and she comes walking in, and she says, "And tables and a bathroom, and wow, is that like a little?" Is that a separate room over there? And she's, so can I get the nickel tour?
Sure.
So-
and then I give her the tour, and as we stop by the, I guess the little kitchen area, make some like, how early in the morning is it? You say?
It's probably 8 or 9.
Make some coffee or
Right.
whatever.
And you got a little table to sit in there. And so she kind of grabs the coffee, perches, and she says, "Yeah, the favor. It's maybe a big one. I'm not sure. It could potentially be dangerous, though I know that's not really a big deal for you. I've been requested by one of the other houses to attend this soiree at the Devonees mansion. And I'm allowed to bring a +1, and I can't think of anybody I would rather have watching my back."
Oh no.
No. I mean, my brothers in the house are strong, but not strong like you. And they're not quite as resilient as you are. So, what do you think? It is a formal affair. You will need to, and it's masked, so you can wear a mask. And knowing what I know about the Devonees, it could potentially be dangerous. So, but it should be fun.
Say, well, you flatter me. I will. Seems like an interesting party to attend. Lots of high families.
Yeah, well, especially ones from New Orleans. Now, supposedly, the Sealy Accords will be in place so that there will be laws of hospitality, so nobody should attack you. But we all know that what that means to people. Sometimes they follow them, sometimes they don't. So just be on your guard. And the Scavis will be there as well, and so I'm a little concerned that they're going to be up to something with me.
How's the food looking?
Oh, it should be good. High end. Lots.
me.
Should be open bar. We are meeting at St. Charles and Canal Street to board a streetcar. There's a crew that my understanding is they run 12th Night. They're called the Funny 40 Fellows, and we'll ride the streetcar down to the Devonees mansion and then disembark there. So it should be pretty fun.
All right. What time should I pick you up?
Well, just meet me there at 8.
Okay.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah, probably don't want to bring your car. I mean, you can, but, we're going to ride the streetcar. And so we'll be throwing beads to people, and they'll probably be,
Oh, it's like a parade thing?
Yeah. Yeah, beginning of Mardi Gras season.
Never been to a Mardi Gras parade.
Me neither. So it should be fun.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'll see you then.
Sounds great. Cool. So that's a yes. Great.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Miranda, you're working on, you've finished setting up the meal for the homeless over the holidays. You've been working pretty extensively with Deacon Fontainebleau, and everybody's been fed. You're paying everybody off, and you notice that there's a little boy standing off to the side. And he kind of is looking at you. Big, brown eyes. And he comes walking up to you and he says, "Miranda?"
Yes, do I recognize him?
Well, you see him with kind of the homeless people. He and his,
I just don't know his name.
Right. Well, he and his dad live in one of the homeless shelters.
Okay.
So yeah. He says, "Yeah, I have something for you."
Oh, okay.
And he reaches kind of into his pocket, because it's cold, even for New Orleans, it's, a little chillier there. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and he hands you this envelope that's got a seal on it. And it's got this funny looking D shape on it, and it's green. And he says, "A man told me to give this to you." He said, "If I made sure I gave it to you," he said he said it was worth $20.
Okay.
He shows you the 20. So, you know.
Is he here right now? Do you see
No,
him?
no. He gave it to me as I was coming into the Christmas dinner. He said, by the way, the turkey was really good. Chicken was kind of dry, but I like the turkey.
I also thought the chicken was dry. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it anyway.
Well, cool. And hey, thanks. I appreciate you feeding me and my dad. You know, we don't get a lot of the really good food at the shelter, but this was awesome.
Oh, that's amazing, buddy. I'm
Cool.
glad.
And he gives you a quick hug and runs off. And his dad's kind of standing over there watching him to see what's going on, and he kind of looks at you and looks at his son and kind of shrugs, and they head back down this, you know, out of the probably in one of the buildings that's owned by the church, kind of like a community center or something like that.
Okay. So the envelope. Do I recognize the seal or anything?
No,
Okay.
not unless she's shown you the Devonees seal, and I don't think she has.
So-
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll just whenever I get a second to get away from everything, I'll open it.
Well, things are pretty much winding down. The people that you hired to cater it are cleaning up and taking all their dishes out to the vans and stuff like that. So you've got a few minutes. Everything gets cleaned up, put away. You know, those was the sterno cans. They're all blow them out and put them in back where they can use them again later. Leftovers are all packed up and sent home with anybody who wants leftovers, and they kind of load up their vans and head off. You're locking up the doors around the perimeter of this community center area, and you kind of get all that locked up, and you're standing out front, kind of around the corner from where you've parked your van. So yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'll just walk over to the van and open it up and see what it's about.
You open it up, and inside it's got this beautiful linen piece of paper that says, "You are cordially invited to a 12th night celebration at the Devonees Mansion. We will meet at St. Charles and Canal Street at 8 o'clock, ride a streetcar with the Funny 40 Fellows to the Devonees Mansion, where we will disembark. Gifts are not necessary, but are acceptable, though everyone who attends will receive a gift. The Unseelie Accord rules for hospitality will be enforced, so no one needs to fear for their safety."
Do I know what that is? Celia Court?
You got lore? Give me a lore check. You might. The Celia Accords are pretty well known.
4?
Yeah. The Celia Accords were this document that everybody who is in kind of the magical realm signed so that they can meet together and sometimes talk. There are neutral grounds that have been accorded. Nowhere in New Orleans is neutral, but there are some places that are accorded neutral grounds that no one's allowed to attack, or the other signatories can jump on their heads. Some of them are like the Fae. Each of the courts, the summer court and the winter court, have each signed them. The ghouls have signed them, and so these are kind of the rules of conduct. So you're not everybody's not just at each other's throat all the time.
Does it say on the invitation this is a masquerade ball?
It is a masquerade ball, and you are allowed to invite a +1.
Okay. Cool. I think Miranda is like one of those people who didn't get to make it to her high school prom, so she is like living for this moment.
Oh yeah.
And already in her head being like, this is it.
It's
Like,
happening!
yeah. In her mind, she's just like glosses over the fact about the Celia Accords, and it's like, okay, so dangerous, but still I get to wear a pretty
well,
dress.
I'm going to be packing the sword anyway, so yeah, you're not like you're going to leave it at home. So yeah, but you do get to wear a pretty dress. That's right, and a mask. So think Mardi Gras.
I'm already got the whole concept. Like,
Cool. So probably a little late to go get a dress tonight, but the next morning probably start picking out dresses. Anything in particular that you're trying to
oh yeah,
set up?
for sure. I 100% am looking for like a silvery kind of dress with jewelry and maybe like shoulder epithet type things that are like silver metallic. I'm going for Joan of Arc.
Gotcha. So are we talking sequined Joan of Arc, or are we talking what?
A couple of textures because I want to kind of recreate what looks like chainmail at some point. So the rest of it like a sleek, shiny, like metal.
Okay. So yeah, you may not be able to find something exactly like that, but you can find a dressmaker who can adjust something so it looks like what you want for sure.
Or I'll just get jewelry that looks like chainmail to kind of like.
No, you can definitely do that too. All right, so cool. So you spend probably the next day
How many
shopping.
of your little rocks you keep taking to the punch?
Oh no! remember, you got $30,000 in the bank and then $1 million in an LLC. You are not,
Yeah.
even if you spend, a couple $1,000s on this dress, you still got plenty of money.
No, I meant that she would decorate.
Oh, right. For those, yes, for those little diamonds. Yeah, sure.
I'm
All right.
trying really hard not to flash those
Yeah,
around
right.
anymore.
Yeah.
Because my landlord is really suspicious.
Yeah, he's all right with you. Yeah, he kind of realized you'd come into some money, and a guy who owns a pawn shop probably doesn't ask too many questions of where things come
That's
from.
why I still live there, even
That's
though I'm
right.
technically
Rich
now.
Yeah, you're rich. Yeah. Well, you could always stay at Bunk's place over by Audubon Park. That's for sure. Mrs. Brown
There's
doesn't mind.
tons of rooms.
That's right.
Well, and his
Always
place
seems
is
to
a
be
new
enough.
restaurant. I'm hungry. Let's go.
All right, so Bunk, you're playing at a gig one night and you finish up, make a few $100s because you're enjoying it. It's right after Christmas, probably a couple days after Christmas, and you're heading home, and you all of a sudden can feel the summons from the Autumn King. You head over to the park because when he needs you, you just kind of know. That's just all it is. He summons you over there, and you head towards the tree where you know he lives. And as he kind of walks out of the tree towards you, and you drop to one knee, and he says, "Autumn Night, Sir Bunk, I need your assistance with something. We have been invited by a magical group called the Devonees to attend a celebration it's a Catholic celebration, which is not something I'm crazy about. The church has always bothered my kind, but I would prefer not to go as the king of the Autumn Fae, but I would like you to go in my stead. It does, supposedly good behavior is guaranteed for all who will be there. Presents are encouraged, though not required. I will give you a gift that you can take." And he says, and you are allowed to take I believe it's called a date. So, yes, if you know of someone who would like to go with you, you're welcome to invite them.
Swift.
It is
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, so you got someone you want to go with, you can tell you Swift's like,
yeah, that's right. Like in the was it the Thor movie? Yeah. He says it is a formal affair, so make sure you dress accordingly, and I'm sure Swift can help you with that, even if you don't want to purchase anything, since he is quite rather adept at glamours. I think you can do glamours.
You can do glamours,
yeah.
yeah.
So you can pretty much, if you want to illusion yourself, you can do that. But if you want to actually get gear, you can do that too. And the Autumn King says, and be careful. I do not know much about these Devonees, but I do know that humans are a duplicitous lot. Present company not included. And he says, so be careful. And this, of course, will go with my blessing. So you will have my power to aid you, of course. So he says, yes. I'll just hand you the paper. So he hands you the paper, and it says basically what everybody else says. You're meeting at St. Charles and Canal Street at 8 o'clock. Going to ride a streetcar down to the Devonet Mansion. You are guaranteed safe passage by something called the Sealy Accords. How high's your lore?
It is a 2.
Okay. Well, you still know about it because the Autumn Knight would have told you about it, or Autumn King would have told you about it. Yeah, because the other fairy groups have signed the accords. The Autumn people have not. Okay, so technically that means you're not bound by the rules of hospitality. But that's
it's ready to eat for everyone. Come bring it.
but
Bring the noise.
But that works both ways,
Right.
too. Now they are saying that they're guaranteeing you safety, and if you kind of abide by those rules of hospitality, you're kind of supposed to follow them. But if you do something wrong, your people are not really bound by it. So there you go. He says yes, and like I said, I will give you something to take. I'll have to think of something suitable that can be given to a magically active group that doesn't compromise us. I'll get it to you the night before.
Sure.
And he says, well, thank you, and I will talk to you soon. So I guess you head back over to Miss Brown, Mrs. Brown's brownstone. Sorry. And and you head up for the night. It's probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. So preparations. You probably all of you have about 2 or 3 days before you're supposed to meet to do this. Your suit will be ready long before that. If you have to, you can put a rush on it. Not like it's a problem. So, anybody want to do anything before you go to St. Charles and Canal and catch the streetcar with the funny 40 fellows?
I think I'm gonna hit up Gabriel Beaumont and see if he wants to go as my +1.
Ooh, that's a good idea. All right, so you call him. I expect you have his phone number,
Yeah.
and he when you give him a call, he says, Devonet Mansion, interesting. I've heard about the Devonees a little bit. I know that they are magically active, mainly the upper crust of New Orleans society. I think it's a masked ball. Is that correct?
It is a masquerade ball. To be honest, I am not really sure why I was invited.
Oh,
And
you're
so-
the Knight of the Cross.
Oh, is that like a
It's kind of a
something
big,
they would
it's kind of a
be
big deal.
aware of? Oh.
Well, yeah, probably. Your sword is not out in the open, but I guess they're aware.
Okay. All right. Well, that would be all the more reason why I would like to have
Oh, yeah.
someone in the know and
Right.
sort of in my realm of
Right.
things there.
Well, he says, yes, I'd be glad to go. I believe I have a suit that'll probably work for it. I have to get a mask, but, there's lots of mask makers in New Orleans, that's for sure. So, yeah, absolutely, I'd be glad to go. Sounds good. Good.
Okay, great.
Kind of interesting that a Jewish boy will be going to a Catholic holiday. And he chuckles and says, so meet you at 8 at St. Charles and Canal?
Yes.
Good, I'll see you there. So, yeah.
I'm gonna go get a gown to wear at the ball,
Okay.
and I'll probably have some kind of like
Something-
one of those.
Close knit so you can work, have high slits so you can work your sword. You can take your umbrella. What are we doing here?
And then I'm gonna get like a little cape thing.
Was that a yes?
She's like,
And I'm getting a little cape thing to go across it, where I can have like
A cape thing across
like
it.
these little tiny capes. What are they called?
Shawl?
Shawl. There you go.
So,
Shawl or
so why are you
something.
wearing that?
I would rather be a cave
Yeah.
is this
Bill
for
and
the
So I,
Bill.
so I can put stuff in it
Oh.
that I might, tools I might need. I can't take my sword and I can't take
I mean,
No, you can bring your umbrella. Absolutely.
Oh, really?
They're you didn't hear any prohibition against
On
weapons.
Just no
Yeah.
violence.
Yeah, just no violence.
Okay.
Yeah. Now that being said, you could also wear your warden's cloak. Your gray cloak as a warden. You're allowed
It's
to wear
just a
that.
cloak. Okay, then that's what I'll do. I'll,
Yeah.
I'll bring my warden's cloak and my umbrella. Good.
Okay, cool.
Yay.
You can do that. Yeah. I mean, nobody said anything about not bringing weapons. Just
+1.
I wasn't told I could have a +1.
No, you were.
Oh, I was?
It says +1 on the letter. Yeah. You don't have to bring a date. It's just you're allowed to bring a date.
Oh, bring the
The warden walks alone.
I wonder if Percy Lestrange would want to go.
You might already be going.
Wellesley's
yeah,
right there.
I was gonna say he's probably gonna be there.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
You can call him. You have his number.
I just think that would be
Interesting.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You might consider it a favor, and then you might owe him something weird,
Maybe
like
your
your
grandparent
memories.
brings
and all that.
Or maybe this is the favor she's paying back to get
Oh,
him into the
maybe
party.
he'll give you your memories back. Ooh, who knows?
Mm.
Never know. Percy's kind of an odd duck.
Like how I had a moment there whenever the auto
I think
was
I'm gonna
talking
do
to
it.
you, and I was
You call
like,
him. All right.
See, he doesn't want to go, so he's kind of forcing you to go. And then after, actually getting full gravitas, the whole thing is like, or is this a benefit? Is going to a fancy party that you're guaranteed to get a gift? Just like, oh, maybe it's. It's like, oh, did you know?
It's all profit.
He's like, yeah, profit. Yeah.
That's right.
This is the good part of the thing, though.
That's right, yeah. You call Percy. Phone rings. Goes about 5 rings, then picks up. And you hear, hello?
Hi.
Just imagine you hung up.
Yeah.
Do you know who this is?
Maybe not.
Who?
It sounds like it might be our warden of the city.
You might be correct. Do you have any plans for 12th night?
Unfortunately, I do. However, I do have someone who might be able to assist you. What is the situation?
I just have an invitation for a +1.
Oh, I know the perfect man who it will be a bit of a blind date, but I think you'll enjoy this man's company.
Oh, yeah. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Let's go.
All right, we'll try that.
All right, I will make the necessary arrangements. Where are you meeting? And is it a formal affair?
It is a formal affair.
Ah,
We're meeting the
Even
corner of
better.
Canal in St. Charles.
oh, riding with the Funny 40
Funny 40
Fellows.
Fellows,
Yes, they are.
correct.
They've been here for 40 years. It's 40. Yes.
All right. Well, I guess you will
Masked
make sure
ball?
he can find me. Yes, masked ball.
Absolutely. You'll know him. He'll be wearing he kind of stops for a minute. He says, a red flower on his suit. You'll know him.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're wearing red
Afraid of that
flowers,
face.
right? Mass confusion.
All right.
Excuse me, are you
Okay.
on a date? No.
And
I'll see you then.
you're about to hang up, and he goes, this wouldn't happen to be the Devonees party that is being thrown.
Of course.
Oh, and you hear this kind of chuckle, and he says, even better.
That's why
I
called
truly
you.
wish I could be there. This will be a night to remember. And he says, well, have a good time, but be careful. You know those Devonees. And he click. Should be fun. All right, so anybody else?
Get the suit.
Got
Yeah,
your
you
suit.
get a suit.
Got your suit. You get a nice suit, or you just going for off the rack? What are we talking about here?
Nice suit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good suits. All right, nice suits.
We're
Um,
money
like-
now.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
Like gold with like the black on the whatever collar part.
Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Does the autumn
Yeah,
like
black
the autumn fair
trim.
have like a color scheme or something like that?
Actually, they do. Their color scheme is black, kind of the auburn of burnt leaves, and then trying to think brown. I mean, just kind of the colors of autumn.
Okay,
So.
I want something kind of
Okay.
on that.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll get you a
Black undershirt,
burnt,
gold tie.
kind of brown colored suit. It won't be black,
Of course,
and maybe get some
circular.
black striping in it, and maybe some brown striping. So it'll look very good. Yeah, that'd be cool. You gonna take your trombone? Or your trombone case? You gonna pack your pistol at least?
Packing a pistol.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, definitely packing a pistol,
Mm-hmm.
and my what is it? It's not a staff. It's the staff.
Oh, the spear. The spear. Yeah. Well, it's like a
My
little
walking-
stick. Yeah,
My
yeah.
walking stick. I'll have it as a cane.
Right.
And then-
You can do that. It can definitely elongate. And remember, it can turn into a full-fledged spear.
You're right. And
So,
so,
yeah.
Nice.
okay, so I have those two things along with them there. So
Cool. All right.
Oh,
Yes.
is this all prepreparation for heading out,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Absolutely.
In preparation for heading out, I am going to, for the first time ever, use an ability I've had this entire time. I'm going to use my righteousness, second fate point for potent prayer,
Oh.
and say a prayer before I go out.
Say a little prayer for you.
To aid my friends
Oh,
tonight. So
I like it.
any
I like it.
any hold on, let me
That's fine.
read how it works.
You know, they're like, I'm going to a ball. Good luck, everyone else.
Make a prayer to guide your actions righteously. Spend a fate point to invoke your high concept. Define a divinely inspired purpose you're aiming at, while in effect use your conviction to complement any action that directly addresses your purpose.
Okay. Cool. Very good. Very good.
Nice.
So what that means is that your conviction can give you a +1 on pretty much any roll for what you're trying to attempt tonight, because it assists you, right? So you feel, very, very I won't say convicted. That's not right. But you feel very strongly about what you're doing. There we go. Yeah. All right. So
Is there any way I could put some kind of thaumaturgical spell on the dress I'm wearing just for added
like
armor or anything?
Sure. You could. Yeah, absolutely. You could probably do something in the neighborhood of armor 2. You're not quite as good at thaumaturgy as Darwin is, but
Yeah.
you could definitely give yourself armor 2 on the dress.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it would just be for like one hit or
Probably for. No, it'll probably last the entire night. I don't know that it'll last much longer than that. Of course, if you guys get into a dust up, there may not be much dress left that you want to keep.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I just want to be prepared.
Right. Gotcha. The day draws time to the day of January 6th draws nigh. Goes pretty quietly. Probably most of you spend most of the day getting ready. The Fairy King brings you a box. It's about this big. And when you open it up, there's a really pretty snow globe in it. But it's a snow globe of his tree. And you see that there's like little fairy figures around it. And so he's not in it. But there's like, you actually think a couple of the figures are you and Swift. And so this looks like a handmade little snow globe or something like that. And he says, yeah, somebody will enjoy that. And so there you go. There's
so
my
if I
gift.
give them a picture of myself, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and a picture of his tree in the park.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so he hands it to you and says, yeah.
Yeah, and I also want to bring. I'll pull one of the things that one of the founders of Google would do is I'm bringing a picture of myself, and I'm going to try to put it somewhere inside the Devonees.
Yes.
Thing in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely can do that. Framed, looking nice, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really
amazing.
funny. I need to do that with people's houses when I go. I'm gonna have to start doing that.
Yeah,
for sure. That's just a fun thing. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Oh shoot!
And-
A
yeah.
gift. I was gonna bring a gift. Yeah, just grab something out of the pawn shop on.
Anything in particular?
Throw a diamond at them. Like, I'm taking this.
I'll just ask
like an old
my landlord. Be like,
beach tag.
go to a fancy party. I need a gift for rich people.
Okay. Look. How about this necklace? And he shows you this necklace. It's like a couple $100. It's nice. It's fancy. It's gaudy.
Perfect.
Definitely looks like rich people stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he has it in a box. He closes the box up for you. It's not wrapped, but who cares, right? Yeah, it's good stuff to
I
get.
don't think Miranda would know the difference.
That's for sure. Anybody else getting gifts to take?
Yeah, do I know, should Sidney Sinclair, like, what's his favorite drink? Liqueur or liquor or...
Yeah, he's probably a bourbon or rum guy. Either one. Rum, probably rum because it's New Orleans. Yeah.
I'll get a high end.
Rum. Some Ron Zacapa 23.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Anybody else getting gifts? Remember, gifts are not required.
That's Anastasia's.
There you go.
That's right.
I'm the plus one.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I forget.
Dude, I ain't gonna buy it.
Nothing. That's right. That's right. You're the plus one. You don't have to either. Yeah.
I get to hoard all my money like a dragon would.
That's right.
We're the only ones on the hook for a present. Not required,
Is
but
that gold?
she doesn't even reach the thing.
Why is that such a weird piece of gold you got there? It's a hunk out of the stove.
It's like one of the legs. It's like,
It's this weird kind of
bring
claw
me a club?
A golden club.
a gold claw fit.
just a claw
weird,
foot. Yeah.
strange.
Oh,
That'd be weird. All right, 7:30 rolls
take that
around.
back. I actually have a gift.
No, again. Uh-oh. What's it got? It's a Dresden file business card, isn't it? Yes. All right.
No, but that's gonna be part of it. It's gonna
Yeah,
be like
okay.
a little, it's just like a little box. And you know, like those like little divider boxes that have like, you know, usually people give for like little glass file kind of things. Just a little,
Sure.
you know, just like one of those little simple boxes.
Yeah.
And like the first thing I wanted, like I just like want to go through like my high quality collection of things and want to just go like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know, just like a little bit of something.
Like an arcane bento
yeah,
box.
just like a little arcade. Like,
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a little thing of like, you know,
With
that
the
looks
little-
fine. Someone could probably do something with that.
And
you
they
know,
put the
just
little
a
wooden top on top,
Yeah.
or close the lid, and
Yeah,
just
that's-
wrap it up. And
A
stuff.
Yeah, that's
legit
a
little
gift
ribbon.
to be.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Legit
That's
gift.
good. That's good. Alrighty. So 7:30 rolls around, and you all start heading down to St. Charles and Canal Street, which all of you can find pretty easily. As you start getting closer, you start realizing that each of you, I don't know if you've talked to each other at this time, so you may not
don't
all
know.
know that you're all going, but you start looking around and realizing that you think you see someone dressed like Joan of Arc. Huh?
I probably shot Bunk a text.
You probably did,
we
yeah.
probably
I
discussed
just
it.
heard I shot Bunk, and I was like,
Ah,
why?
well, I mean,
I
it's-
shot the Bunk.
You see a woman dressed in a gray cloak carrying an umbrella, which is not hard to figure out. And you see this guy in a really stylish suit standing next to Anne Marie, who runs Marie Laveau's Voodoo House. She meets you there. She's dressed in this beautiful, what looks like kind of a white dress. She's got her hair tied up in, kind of the traditional wrap like a lot of the voodoo priestesses wears.
Yeah, wearing a mask like that. That's like a dark gray kind of thing. Just
She's not wearing a mask, by the way.
I am.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh wait, we're wearing masks, so would we even
Yes.
recognize each other?
Well,
Oh no, that's obvious. it's just the
Umbrella,
moment
gray
you see it,
cloak.
and I'm just like, oh no.
no, umbrella and gray cloak.
I
Yeah, you know
have
who she
a
is.
fancy mask
She does.
on and a pretty dress
Yep, everybody,
And the
she's
gray
dressed to the
cloak.
nines.
and the cloak
Yeah, she's dressed to the nines.
and my umbrella.
That's right. And he's dressed very gold and black and
Yeah.
looking.
I got a silver dragon mask.
There you go. That's
Oh,
I think
perfect.
I
Very
recognize
often,
everybody except for you because you're wearing a full face mask.
Yeah,
So you may
there
not
was
be
a
sure.
tent behind
But
this.
you recognize Anne Marie Laveau with him, and so you're Anne Marie Laveau, and you're kind of like, oh, I wonder who she's
That
got
also
with
being
her.
I don't
said,
know that
I
I
usually
would
wear
think-
like
oh,
coveralls
obviously
or
dark.
No, no, you would.
I
You,
thought
she's
you
got.
were getting
She's
fancy
there. Yes.
coveralls.
completely different.
Yeah.
That'd be your thing.
You do see Sidney St. Clair standing there. You see Bella St. Clair, his sister, which you're probably the only one who's actually met Bella. Since you were kind of trained by the Devonees, you probably met her a few times. There's a lot of other people that you don't recognize. A few of them,
Okay.
Jody, you may have seen them around the Devonet mansion. You're not sure. Everybody's wearing masks. Kind of hard to tell. You see Anastasia. She's wearing just this kind of little mask that's on a stick like that. She's got this beautiful white dress on that's kind of sparkly but very subtly, and it's way plunging back. It's kind of up a little bit here, but she's got this, it way plunges down to that. She looks absolutely phenomenal. You also see several other people, standing around. You're there with Swift. Swift is wearing a straight black suit. He's got a black mask that he's wearing that's, kind of on the rubber band. Of course, all of you are carrying your stuff. You assemble there, and you've been there maybe 15 minutes. Oh, your date. You're standing around kind of looking.
I have my gift too. Where am I supposed to do
Oh, right.
it?
No,
Just
hold
carry
on,
it
hold
in?
on.
Okay.
You're kind of standing there, and this gentleman walks up. He's wearing a white suit and a white top hat and a red flower. And he's wearing this mask that looks like a skull.
Of course.
And he comes walking up to you, and tall, kind of thin
How
guy.
does he know who I am?
He walks
Because
up.
of the cloak?
He walks. Yeah, you're hard. An umbrella. And he walks up to you, and he says, "Della Fontenot, I'm here for Percy Lestrange." This deep melodic voice, really nice looking guy. You can kind of see he's got darker skin, pretty dark. And he says, "Well, I am your date for tonight,
And you are?
Samdi." He looks at you and he says, sorry, not Samdi. He goes, "Legba. I believe we've met before." Wrong name, sorry.
See, that's also who I originally thought it was.
Yeah.
I was just
I
like,
wasn't even on my radar.
No,
but-
and he reaches out and he grabs your hand and he kisses it very nicely and he says, "You look much better than when I saw you before."
Well, I brought a gift that I was going to give to
The Devonees.
Devonees?
Cindy St. Clair
Oh,
that I think is more suited towards you.
you gonna hand him the bottle
I hand
or the
him-
box or whatever?
I hand him a box of it's Ron Zacapa Sanitario.
Oh, that's
XO.
the good stuff, yeah. And he opens the box and goes, "Oh, this is fine. Though I know you already owe me one favor, so I'm going to call it in tonight."
Great.
He says, "We have to drink this before we go home. Not the whole bottle, but at least you have to sample some with me."
Of course.
"Good. Well, then we are even."
Obviously.
Play it to his inner party
I
voice.
still
Well-
the strange. This
Papa
guy.
Legba,
She's like, I'm trying to get some of these debts off.
He says, "Good. Well, okay. We may not be quite even because
See,
Um,
I blame y'all.
well, I'll tell you what I need from you later. But for now, let's enjoy ourselves." The streetcar pulls up. Everybody starts loading on. Everybody make me an alertness check.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're gonna curse my dice.
Sorry, too late.
I roll bad all night.
Like I have anything to do with it.
Another
That's
player.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, even.
Yeah,
Not bad.
I didn't get it from
Here,
you
you
at
want to
all.
touch my dice?
One.
No,
Okay.
I'm not petty.
1, 3.
Yes, okay.
It's alertness.
Alertness. Yeah.
3.
3.
I got a 2.
Okay. Those of you who got a 3 or higher, you notice everybody starts loading onto the streetcar, and it's been, of course, rented only for your group. So you guys are the only people who are on there. Everybody's dressed really nice, women in beautiful gowns, and a lot of them wearing shawls. Again, all of them look like they're probably from the upper crust of New Orleans society. You notice once you've loaded that there are 4 men standing kind of off to the side. And they're all wearing long black coats over black suits, and they're wearing masks. Masquerade masks, but actually very similar to yours. And they're just kind of standing there, and you guys load onto the streetcar, and they see you, and they immediately turn and walk away once everybody's on the streetcar.
They don't load on?
No, they don't.
Uniform kind of outfits?
Yeah, all of them wearing black kind of, it looked like, the kind of these woolen overcoats like you would wear over a suit to keep it, safe.
noticed
Oh,
this. I'm asking
kind of
questions,
like
but I
you would
didn't
see
know.
servants in the old.
No. It's like you would wear over a nice suit to keep
Okay.
to keep yourself warm, and then they're all wearing these masks that are very similar to yours, nondescript, but they're black.
Right.
So and once you guys get all loaded on, they turn around and just walk off. So they don't get on with you. Streetcar starts to move. There's people lining the roads. There's tons of beads and stuffed animals and little knickknacks and doubloons, and you guys are throwing them out. There's actually a guy playing guitar on the back and a guy with a ukulele, and they're kind of singing as you go along. Everybody's having a good time. There's bottles of wine. There's cans of beer. People are drinking, throwing stuff out there, and you come up to what used to be called Lee Circle. And, normally the streetcars kind of go around there, but you get up to the thing and you stop because you're having to wait for people to go through the circle because it's a main thoroughfare. And, people come up to the window and they're, hey, give me something. So you're handing out beads and people are laughing, having a really good time. And you notice standing on the street corner, what looks like these same 4 guys standing there. And they've got the masks, and they're kind of looking at.
This is only alertness 3+ people.
Well, no, everybody kind of notices them because they're standing back from the normal crowd that's kind of
Right.
crowding around your streetcar. These guys are just standing back on the sidewalk, just watching, and they're kind of waving like this. They look like they're. You can't tell if they're having a good time or not, but that's what you see is they're
Sounds
just
like
kind
it's
of
odd with the
They're
same-
waving too.
waving. But normally when people at Mardi Gras, they're like, throw me something, and they're kind of a little bit crazy. These guys are just kind of waving at you.
Like sort of no-face vibes in the background?
Yeah, well, maybe like they want you to throw them
I'm
something
gonna
or something.
nudge Anastasia and ask her what she makes of it.
She goes, I don't know. I've actually never done this Mardi Gras thing. I'm kind of new to town, so I'm not sure what that's all about. I don't recognize them.
Can I?
Take that doubloon and throw it at one of them and see what
All
happens.
right, I'm gonna put all my might behind it
Okay.
just to see. Do you want me to roll a might check?
No. You flick it out there, and it goes right towards one of the guys, and he snatches it out of the air, and then he kind of waves at you and walks toward the streetcar.
You walk like that.
Okay.
Okay. And-
I do a little, not a like a, I don't know.
Yeah,
a
you
little
kind of like
or
a
whatever,
nod thing
that.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he walks up to the window, and he puts his hand up to the window, and he's got a piece of paper in his hand.
Okay, I grab it.
When you touch the piece of paper, it's like electricity hits you, which is not a big deal for you. Okay, Ooh, that feels good. Yeah. And it's kind of a rolled up little scroll, and there's like a jolt of energy. And then the guy kind of nods his head at you and heads back to the sidewalk with the rest of the guys.
All right.
Okay. It's this weird looking drawing of what looks like the Eye of Thoth, kind of the
Oh.
Egyptian looking thing.
Okay.
What it does, as long as you've got that, you can one time while you're at the Devonees soiree, tag this to give yourself an extra +2 on any roll because you get a brief burst of recognition. you know what's going to happen for just like a couple seconds, and you're able to go, hey, I need to do this to make this happen. So it gives you a +2. Now, it's only 1, but it's just kind of a free tag.
I'm gonna roll it up and say, "Hey."
Actually, you can't give it
Oh.
to. It's the jolt of electricity was the magic.
I'm trying to run things at the other guy.
Well, actually, when
like,
you know he when the guy gets back over,
It's like now, Buck is just throwing stuff at these guys.
Right.
Well,
Well,
the power
the
of
guys
foresight
turn around
just flew through
and leave. They just kind of walk off because once they've given you this thing, they kind of walk off.
That doesn't stop Bonk.
Yeah, I know.
He's still
Yeah, a couple of them catch some of the stuff, and they stop for a minute and catch some of the beads and things, but they don't come over to the thing. One of them flash. I'm kidding.
From which end?
Oh, that's not okay. Yeah. So
It's beautiful.
So they walk off. You go around Lee Circle, go down about 3 or 4 more blocks, and do you remember where the Devonees Mansion is? We actually stood outside of where it was, and so they let you off there. It's the mansion that was used in American Horror Story for what was it, Coven? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's the actual house. If you saw American Horror Story, you know what the building looks like. Very stately, antebellum kind of looking, wrought iron fence. When it stops, you're gonna have to walk maybe half a block to get there, and everybody kind of unloads from the streetcar. They're kind of stumbling. The guys with the guitar and the ukulele get off and are playing along behind you. They're not wearing masks because you have to be able to see a little better to play guitar and ukulele, unless you're really, really good. You walk about half a block. Everybody's kind of talking, drinking beer. They've got bottles of wine and glasses of wine and champagne. And the iron gates are open, and there's all these little fairy lights along the top of the wrought iron fence. There are little lights that have been put up there, like little Christmas lights. There's lights in the tree, big old swamp oak with all these lights. It's actually very, very beautiful. I mean, and then you see what looks like a masked butler at the door, and people.
Before that, as we're walking in, I want to talk shop with Anastasia and see if she's pointed out and noticed any of the Scabies people.
Yeah, she says that she's noticed. Let me get this real quick. She has noticed.
Anastasia, just to refresh my memory, is the vampire from
That we're
the
tailing
other
y'all?
family.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the family. They're the Lust family, though, right?
Right.
No, they're Fear.
Fear. Right.
Fear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember.
She says there's a woman who she is pretty sure is Lauren Scavis, who is kind of the favored daughter of the Scavis, I don't know, clan in New Orleans. But she's accompanied by 2 guys, dark hair.
I thought it was a +1, not a +2.
These are +1 and +2, which is weird. They're 2 guys in black suits, wearing kind of gold masks, very nondescript. You think maybe bodyguards? You're not real sure. Dark hair. You can kind of see their skin. Their skin is kind of an olive complexion.
Can I do some kind of smell reptilian sense to see if I can smelling like I guess big odors, like I don't know, like ghouls smell awful.
Right.
Fairies might smell nice.
Well, yeah. That would probably be investigation.
Okay.
Let's do that. Yeah. And if you're going to use like your dragon nose, I'll give you a +1.
Yeah, that's what's gonna kind of do or do like.
You can hide it behind the mask anyway, so yeah.
You said investigation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Same thing. 0.
Okay. You can't really get any kind of scent off of them besides, they smell human. That's about all you can tell other than that.
Okay.
But she says that, Anastasia says she's pretty sure that this is probably Lauren Scavis, the way she carries herself. And this woman, all the Scavis are a little skinnier than normal because they're despair vampires. And so they're not voluptuous like the Wraiths are, who are the lust vampires. Anastasia is actually very pretty for a vampire who is
Fear.
fear. but I'm not sure what a fear vampire would look like anyway. But the despair vampires are just kind
Like
of
all vampires have at least a +2 hotness, anyways.
well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Actually,
besides the black court.
right, Ew, they're gross. This lady Lauren, she definitely does +2, but the guy you met that you killed at Geotronics only had probably like a +1. He was just a little too thin and a little too wiry to be just really
Marcus,
attractive. Marcel.
For some reason, whenever I think of like what a fear vampire would look like, I just think of Bella from Twilight.
Just hollowed out.
Just kind of like hollowed,
like dark.
Emotionless.
Emotionless, yeah. I can see that. Yeah. After Edward, and where he met Sparkling in daytime. Anyway, well, you remember,
Walk away. This is the face of a monster, Sparkle. That is
not a monster.
You've
Nope.
just been lightly
I'm
jogging
just
through the
saying.
forest.
That's
Now you're
right.
I
sweating.
got 2 really dirty light.
Yeah, we were not
What?
happy with you.
This too?
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was
that
so
was
great.
finally getting good.
Nope.
They just perspired a little bit.
That's right. Sparkle. He's dew dropped.
Hey, it was payment for all the horror movies.
13 ghosts. That's right.
Or
Anyway.
8-legged freaks.
Oh, that was the one that you loved with all the spiders. Yeah, because you love spiders so much. So you're going in the gates. Swift immediately moves between the iron gate and you because the gate is iron. And so he positions himself between you and the gate, but even being that close to the gate is really uncomfortable for you because you realize that if you touch iron, your fairy powers are gone. And if they use something to actually hurt you that's made of iron, it's going to really hurt. It's going to be like somebody stabbing you with a hot poker or something instead of just a piece of metal, which would still hurt, but it'd be really bad. As you're going in, the servants are taking any of the gifts you want to turn over. Several people are keeping their gifts, saying that they are specifically for someone that they're meeting here. Some people are surrendering their gifts, and the servants are not making a big deal about it. Nobody is checking really weapons. You do actually see several people coming in wearing what looks like probably maybe knives or something like that. You figure the magically active practitioners have probably maybe got knives or maybe guns. You're not really sure. Really strongly active practitioners, remember, could only use something like a revolver. So you do not see anybody carrying a Glock or anything like that on their hip. Several people seem to be bringing +1s that are very obviously bodyguards. Their +1 is not...
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, you're not the only one. That's right. So you head in, walk up the little cement path. There's trees. There's tables laid out with lots of food. There's a bar over in the corner with all kinds of bottles behind it. People are standing around talking. It sounds like kind of like a string quartet maybe playing somewhere where you cannot see. And you see lots of people just milling about. Anybody in particular want to do anything?
I do relinquish my gift to the.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I'm gonna
cool.
also give it to you.
All right.
I'm just gonna walk around and kind of get the lay of the land and visit with Papa Legba at the.
Okay. You're walking around. Legba's kind of telling you, "Oh, this is a beautiful house. Beautiful house. I really like the styling and especially the way that they have done the Spanish moss. It truly gives a feeling of old New Orleans. Let's go get a drink." And so he walks over and gets a glass of red wine, asks you what you'll have, and that kind of stuff. Starts talking
I'll have
to
the
you.
same.
Starts asking you about being a warden and working for the White Council. So I guess he kind of knows who that is. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I like it. I've been doing it for a while, but as you can tell, I'm young.
Well,
But I've
young
learned a
is
lot.
young is merely a number, my friend. Age sometimes comes from the wisdom that you've attained. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm just investigating, just looking around the place, trying to
Right.
just
With
get the
Swift.
lay of the land. Yeah.
You can go up into the actual house. The house is beautiful.
Yeah.
Lots of tall glass windows, chandeliers, lots of crystal. You go inside. It looks like everything's an antique. There's a sitting room where a few people have kind of posted up and are sitting around talking. There's several doors that lead off from the main hallway that are locked. Now, of course, it's not a big deal for you, but obviously, you're not supposed to go into those. So there's a couple areas. There's a library, mundane library. Some of the books are, things like,
Any pictures of families and family pictures.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of them. Yes, on the mantles
Great
and stuff like
place
that.
too.
Right there, yeah.
like it.
You're going to do that?
Yeah.
I need a stealth check.
Ooh, let's go. Let's go.
Ooh, do I have still? Yeah, I got this.
Plus 1, plus 2.
Yeah, +1.
That'll work. Ooh, that's not wow. That ain't
shabby,
bad, man.
Not
I'm
shabby.
coming. It's important. That's what
That's right.
This was on mission
You
tonight.
kind of reach into your pocket and slip it up there. Swift kind of gets a funny smirk on his face that you can tell. You can kind of see it a little behind his mask. And
How big is it?
Oh, it is. I mean, it is
Yeah.
noticeable.
That man went in there like, excuse me, I'll take your gift. Like, no, this is for someone in particular. And just goes in there and it's like, for the world.
everybody should enjoy it. So yeah, you probably, there's a bunch of pictures kind of sitting on the mantle of different people, and you can take yours and kind of put it in wherever you
Right
want.
in the middle.
Right in the
Just like
middle.
I-
Got it.
I
Got
like the idea that
Like I
you just
really-
it.
takes down someone else's.
Yeah, exactly. I will steal it.
And Swift actually
that
runs
closet.
interference on this
Yeah,
for you. He
yeah.
kind of stands in the way so you can get it up there, and then he snickers. You guys are drinking probably beer, or what are you interested in?
Yeah. Well, no. So the Iron Gate scares me. So
Yeah,
I'm probably
that's-
just drinking water because I know if I drink too much, I will actually accidentally fall into the iron. So.
Well, remember, you can always call on the power of the
That's true.
autumn night, but you'll owe a boon to the autumn king. So yeah, it just depends on how big in debt you want to be. So yeah, okay. So you're drinking water. Swift is having probably a beer or something like that, walking around. Lots of really attractive women. Well, as far as you can tell, because they're all wearing masks. But what you can see looks pretty good. So
Yeah, I'm mingling. I'm
mingling.
people.
Cool. Give me a rapport check.
Great.
Let's see where we are. Swift is being strong and silently behind you, making sure nobody gets behind you and attacks you.
I'm about to all negatives right here, baby.
Nah.
Ah,
Pretty good. still.
2.
2.
Yeah.
You strike up a conversation with an auburn-headed lady in a green dress. It's all sequins. She seems pretty nice. She's talking about how her family has a condo in the downtown area, and that she loves it down there. She loves the city. She's only been in the city for about the last. Her family's only been here for like 20 years. She grew up in New Orleans, but they're relatively newcomers. It's kind of innocuous, nice stuff. Are you going to try and touch her?
Yeah.
When you do, you get a practitioner. So yeah, and when you do that, she kind of looks a little startled, and then she goes, "Oh, are you a member of the Devonees?
No.
Well, I didn't recognize you. I hadn't seen you around at any of the meetings or anything like that. I was just surprised. Interesting."
Just a guest.
And so she says, "Well, and it looks like she's going to try and talk shop. So, in particular, who is your trainer, your master?"
I've learned some things all around the way. My
Oh, self-taught. Do tell. And so she immediately starts kind of asking you questions about, seems a little more interested in who you are and asking you things about what you do. How much do you want to give away?
not a whole lot, just generalities.
Oh yeah, I'm a musician. Oh, a musician, and she
Yeah,
likes
and-
that because that's the bad boy of the family, right? And so she seems kind of mildly interested in at least chatting with you, things like that. Swift again is behind you, very silently watching what's going on. You are doing what?
I am a +1,
Mhm.
so
I'm doing what I want.
When you come in, I need I don't know if it'd be alertness.
because I probably don't recognize every member of my group
Right.
here, but I recognize a couple of them.
Right. I'm gonna
And
go.
while I enjoy their company,
Yeah.
trouble tends to follow me.
Right. I'm gonna ask you to
Don't know what
do
you're talking
Trouble is
a
handled.
rapport check. I need a rapport check.
Rapport,
Yes.
then that'll come out to 0.
Okay. You notice that when you walk in the door, very slightly, Anne Marie stiffens. Okay. She seems a little bit uncomfortable. This may not be quite her kind of area where she's used to.
Same.
And then when she notices Anastasia, who's, she's kind of made it obvious that she's White Court vampire. She even seems a little more nervous. And so when she sees Volt and Anastasia, she kind of starts directing you away to a different area. Like she doesn't want to be near a White Court vampire. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
What are you doing? Gabriel Beaumont is there, by the way. Yes.
Yes. I kind of sort of splitting my focus, casually making conversation with him, just catching him up.
Yeah. He's actually a little underdressed. He's a little more casual. It's more like kind of a tweed jacket and things like that.
Nice.
And he's wearing nice slacks and he's wearing a tie and he has a mask and it's kind of just a very simple mask. But he is sitting there talking to you, asking you about where you're from, when you came to the city, that kind of stuff. He's telling you about a little. He hasn't grown up here. He's only been here for about the last 10 years. He's been working with the church for the entire time, that kind of stuff. They gave him, of course, a Lottery Mansion because he's the one who can pacify the ghosts and things like that. And chatting. Give me a rapport check.
Okay. Well, it's a 4.
Okay.
Wow.
Ah.
You get the feeling that he is keeping the conversation very light.
Okay.
He's not opening up a whole lot. Just kind of the general surface conversation. He is making good conversation, but
Right.
but he's definitely keeping the conversation simple and light. Is what it is. So,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. He also seems to be looking around a lot too, watching what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. I similarly am kind of trying to do the same thing where I'm trying to appear to be engaging, but really I want to be focusing on listening. I want to know if I can pick up on any threads of conversation. I want to know if our stunt at Geotronics has caused a stir in this community anywhere,
okay.
and see if I can pick up on
Let me get
anyone talking about that.
right. Give me an empathy check
Oh, I don't think I have that.
because you're trying to read people.
Alright. -1.
You haven't heard anything. Nobody seems really to be discussing it, or nobody seems really nervous. You do see Anne Marie, and you notice that she looks decidedly uncomfortable. You do see Anastasia. I think you met her. Did you? Don't know.
I don't
I
think
mean,
they.
the
Maybe you didn't meet
initial
Anastasia.
night
I think I
that
told
we
him
ran
about it.
into
You
that,
do
I
see
don't
a guy in
think-
a silver dragon mask, and you're kind of sure you know who that
The
is.
gold,
Yeah.
gold suit. Like,
Right?
Silver
Yeah, you're pretty sure.
robes.
And he's got
very,
this.
very on the nose.
He's got this pretty dark-haired woman on his arm who you're kind of like, oh, that's Anastasia. Yeah, it's not your sister, so that much you know. So, and you do see Della, and she's walking around with this gentleman in a white suit with a red flower. He's wearing a white top hat. He's tall, kind of thin. He's probably got a foot on her.
Is he a disguise, or would I recognize him from when we ran into him?
No, he looks very decidedly human.
Oh, okay.
He's tall. He's a little thin. He's not the guy who walked into the hospital when you were sick. No, he looks like a very nice looking young man. And he is wearing a skull mask, which is kind of interesting. So yeah.
We'll probably go over and mingle, especially
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
the last time I saw Gabrielle was whenever
Right.
I invited him when you were sick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you probably head over there to talk to. Okay, she wanders over with Gabriel Beaumont in tow. To talk to you. Anything in particular you want to talk about? No.
Hello, how are you
Hey.
tonight? You look very nice.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
You remember Gabrielle, right?
Yes, I do. How are you?
Gabriel
doing
says hi,
tonight?
kisses your hand. He's kind of old
Oh,
school.
thank you.
And I
Thank
haven't
you.
had the pleasure, I think, of meeting your...
Oh, you have met my date.
And he reaches over and grabs your hand and kisses it and says, "My name is Legba. We have met once before." In this
We
kind of deep,
have.
sonorous voice. Yeah.
We have. I
This-
do remember this.
He says, "This is an interesting gathering. I sense a lot of magic in the room.
Yes.
It's quite interesting. And as well as some very subtle predators." And he kind of looks over towards Volt's date. And then he also looks over towards this woman who is being followed around by these two dark-haired guys that are dressed identical. Yeah.
Have we noticed that person before?
No,
Oh, okay.
you've never met her. He says, yes, definitely some subtle predators. Though it looks like everyone might be a predator tonight. And there's kind of a little bit of electric
That's
tingle
the
tonight. Something's
feeling
going on.
I get.
Question, Darwin, did you ever let us know that it was you?
No.
We don't
You guys
know where
know.
it's going.
So we
Yeah.
think
Right.
we all,
think we're all, yeah,
but we
we
don't
all-
know
we
he's
all-
there.
yeah,
That's
we
so
all-
great.
yeah.
Because did any of us tell each other that we had invitations?
Nope.
I didn't tell
Oh,
them.
no, you
Those
you know
two
he's
did.
there. Yeah, that's it.
We
Yeah.
I 100% thought I just hit the lottery on
Yeah,
something,
right,
and then
yeah.
Trent was like, "My friend." friends.
Yeah.
Oh no, 100%. That's like
Everyone,
similar
man, I wish
thought
Darwin was
process.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be the whole gang
He's
together,
always
yeah.
working.
That's right.
Yeah.
Probably just working on something else for someone else.
Yeah.
Do you hear all this and you're just like,
Yeah. Probably not.
Probably not because my lady is taking me far away from you and
Oh,
her lady
true.
family. So
And Darwin wants
Well, you're
nothing to do with
talking
me.
And then
Kyla, I need an
think
alertness check real quick.
I feel
when you
like
get a
slightly
chance.
guilty because it's like, oh, once I see that all of you are here, I'm like, oh, I could have invited Darwin as my +1 and then we all would have been here.
ugh, man, it's been 0 on the dice every
Okay.
roll. No, I got a +2.
Okay,
still,
+2. Right. Oh, you're gonna use that. Oh wait, +2 still. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just keep rolling 0 every dice roll.
You notice that this guy is walking towards you. He's wearing a beautiful, probably an Armani suit. You guys are all dressed to the nines. This guy is wearing a suit that probably cost double what you guys paid, and it fits him perfectly. It's very sharp, kind of iridescent-y.
Oh,
And
sorry.
he's wearing a mask. It looks kind of like a Greek faceless god kind of mask, with the little leaves that are there, and it's gold kind of. If you've seen the sun god kind of mask where they have the little leaves in it and stuff like that, but it's kind of very nondescript. And he walks up to you. You don't see anybody walking with him, but he walks up to you and he sticks his hand out. And then he goes, "Son."
Father.
And he shakes your hand and he says, "I see you've been invited to an interesting gathering tonight."
It is certainly interesting.
Yeah.
Lots of folks of power about, I feel.
Be careful. There is something afoot tonight. I know you know, but something is working in the background here, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm not staying long, but I did want to at least come up and say, you've done well. You've done well.
I see it's rare that things take your glance, so I guess I have.
Yes, you have. And I was in town, so I figured I'd at least stop by. Now, who is this lovely vision you have beside you?
I say this is the great Anastasia Malvora.
That Anastasia. And she kind of, she stiffens a little bit beside you, and he looks at her and says, "I was there when your father, mother, and family were killed. I'm sorry I couldn't do anything to stop it. At that time, it was a different world." And she kind of stiffens, and then she kind of relaxes a little bit, and she says, "That means a lot." And he says, "Well, I have to go, but know that I'll be thinking about you. And Anastasia, it was quite nice to meet you." And then he's there 1 minute, and poof, gone the next minute. Which, there's no such thing really as teleportation powers for mortals. You can't just bamf from one place to the other. Except Faravax seems to be able to do that kind of stuff. He does in the books anyway, so yeah. And then he's just gone. And Anastasia goes, "Who was that?"
So I untighten all the muscles in my body.
Yeah.
That was my father.
At which point she turns towards you, and you think you can see behind the mask. Her eyes get really big, and she goes, "Your father is Faravax? Oh, wow. I knew you were related to the dragon somehow, but son of Faravax. Wow."
Yeah, I tend not to talk about it.
Well, she says, and she looks at you and she says, "Well, since you know something about me, let me tell you something about myself. When he said he was there when my family was killed, he was talking about in Russia.
Ooh.
I'm that Anastasia."
Oh.
At which point you realize...
My eyes go wide.
Yeah, at which point you realize...
I've seen you in the movie.
Yeah, right. At which point you realize she's a lot older than she looks.
Yeah.
She's much older than she looks. But, White Court vampires, who knows how they age anyway. She's probably, 50, 60.
I've
When
only
did
just
that happen?
hatched.
Was that in the 1800s?
No, 19.
Oh, 19 teens, yeah. So she's
Cool.
probably 100 years old at least, which
Doesn't look at a day.
doesn't look a day over 23. So, you know, things have held up well. Anyway, but yeah, she says, well, that was interesting. I had no idea. And you notice that she's relinquished her gift, by the way. She's not carrying it around. Yeah, she says, well, I think after that I might need a drink. Escort me to the bar?
Me too.
So yeah, you head over to the bar,
Yeah,
grab
I
some
grab her
drink.
arm and
Yeah.
let's go to the bar.
Anybody have anything else particular you're going to do?
Yes,
Yes,
I
Jody.
am going to ask Papa Legba if he would be interested in just taking a turn around the
Dance
little
floor?
area.
I would love to.
Yes.
At which
okay.
point he grabs you, and there is a dance floor set up, and several people are dancing. It's kind of ballroom formal dancing, and yes, he decides he wants to dance a bit. So you
So,
But as
what
we're
is the
dancing,
height difference
I'm
between the
going
two?
to-
That is the thing. That's,
literally, he's got a foot on her.
He
Okay,
picks her up and
that's-
just spins her around.
I don't think your character's short. I mean, you're probably 5 foot something, and he's probably 6 something. So yeah, he's got about a foot on you.
Stand on his shoes like a kid dancing with their dad at the wedding.
No, he'll kind of bend down a little bit.
Yeah, right. He's got long arms.
Like,
Whatever. Anyway.
He's a okay. Well, this Papa Legba was very scarecrowish. This guy is a little not scarecrowish. He's
But as we're dancing, I'm gonna say, hey, let me pick your brain a bit about maybe do you know some of these people that I'm not familiar with, so I can kind of
well, yes.
still learning.
I recognize Anne Marie Laveau.
Well,
She
I
is.
do too.
She and I have been friends for a long time. You could say that I've known her family and we have worked together on many things. Yes, I recognize her. Some of the Devonees I know dabble into the ways of voodoo, but most of them are more classically trained magicians, so I don't know them very well. I think I recognize your friends. There's Bunk, and I believe that's Miranda, and your friend Volt, and look, there's Darwin with Anne-Marie. How interesting. Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, what is that?
And he's kind of, as you're dancing, it's not really fast. As you're
Yeah.
dancing, he kind of, spins you around so as you can see all these things. He's very, very graceful, that's for sure. And
Probably old enough.
see, well, yeah, right. And so he definitely as he says Darwin, he notices that make sure that you're facing Darwin and Anne-Marie and all that stuff. Yeah. So he says, now that's an interesting turn of events. And you notice he does. He turns you, and he points you in the direction of what looks like this gentleman. He's wearing a kind of a sea green suit, a dark green suit. It's a little bit sparkly. Give me an alert. Well, no, give me an investigation check, Jody. No, yeah, investigation. Yeah. Never mind. Anyway, you see this guy standing over there. He's got this absolutely
Just so you
drop-dead
can
gorgeous
see.
blonde on his arm. And Legba kind of looks and says, well, I had not expected to see someone like him here.
What,
That bears remembering.
what is he?
He says, never mind. It's not important. And
Are
then
you sure? There's been some really weird things going on lately.
No. It's as long as there's only one, it's fine. And then he kind of twirls you around the dance floor a bit and changes the subject. Yeah.
Highlander?
I'm thinking ghouls again, but okay.
Actually, he does point out a couple ghouls that are here. He says looks like the head of one of the ghoul families and is there with his wife. Yeah, they're the Lachase clan. He does point them out. But they seem to be on their best behavior.
Your memory, the ghouls that we encountered before, were they acting alone or were they participating in the kidnapping of the...
They were being delivered, weren't they?
The only ghouls the only ghouls you've really run into were the ones you ran into outside of the cemetery. And then in the cemetery. You didn't run into any of them in Geotronics. Right.
Okay, I think I just was conflating
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
ghoul movements.
That's all
with
right.
them.
Yeah. Hey, there's lots of them.
But did we get a sense at that time that the ghouls were acting independently, or were they working with the necromancer?
They seem to be working with the necromancer. Is
Okay.
what you got the idea. Yeah. Which if you're a necromancer, you probably kill lots of people or have access, and ghouls have to eat like 40 or 50 pounds of meat a day. So that
Phew, that's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So, after anesthesia and I get our drinks, I do want to kind of. Is there like a balcony
You
on
would
the
have
inside?
you would have to go up the stairs and see if you can make your way out onto the balcony. So
No,
it kind
not
of,
outside, like an inside, like little.
I'm not sure. I'm
What's the
following.
room? So like sometimes you have like the big stairs that go up, and then there's
Right,
an
and
inside
that's what you got.
balcony.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There it is. Yes.
I want to kind of like usher her or persuade her to like maybe hang out up there instead,
Right.
since Fairfax dropped like a big warning of.
Right. Well, and you can actually make your.
Use.
There's actually a balcony on the second floor where you can actually kind of stand up there and overlook what's going on down below you if you want.
Have a good escape route.
Right. Now, most of the doors upstairs are locked, but they've left at least the door out to the balcony so people can kind of.
I just want a higher advantage to
Right.
see the party goers down below and
Right.
be less out of the
There's actually a couple.
gas chamber or whatever it might have.
Right. Well, there's actually a couple people standing up there on the balcony, kind of talking and chatting. A few small groups, and there's another couple out on the balcony. They're standing very close to each other, and once in a while, the woman will put her head over on the guy's shoulder. So I think they're looking for somewhere kind of romantic to hang out. But yeah, you can definitely head out there and kind of look around. It does give you a good overview. You see little pockets of people talking. You do see that there's a little string quartet, and you see that the warden and her date are dancing on the dance floor. There's several other couples that are out there, but it's very slow dancing. It's not very quick or anything like that. And they seem to be looking around. Don't see anything terribly odd going on
That's going to be kind of on alert.
until the front gate is already open, and this woman comes striding in. The guy behind her is wearing torn jeans, biker leathers. He's got this shock of silvery hair. He's it's hard to tell how old he is. She is dressed in nothing but strategically placed, you think they're sequins, but they're probably diamonds. And they just cover the parts that you probably shouldn't show in public, but not by much. And she's got this kind of blue and purple and white hair that's kind of in a shock. It's shaved on one side, shock that's kind of comes down this way. Again, she's got like little diamonds on her cheeks. And as you see this, you notice that the servants down at the gate, offer to take something from her, and she just kind of does this and walks in. And the guy behind her has this snide kind of sneer. The first thing you notice about him is he's not a nice guy. Just the way he kind of looks around. He has the movements of a predator, and he's looking around at the different women in the room. Several of the women step behind their dates, just, subconsciously. And a few of them actually step closer towards them where you can see them better, which makes you a little concerned. And several of their dates step in front of them, just kind of protectively. And so the people in the room just sense that this guy is a bad dude and a predator. The woman seems to be almost paying him no mind whatsoever. And she comes striding up the concrete path, reaches out and grabs a flute of champagne and tosses it back, and then grabs another one and puts it back on there and starts walking around. She's got several piercings in her eyebrows. I think there may be a few piercings other places, so it's kind of hard to tell because of the diamonds and the way they're positioned, but you're like, wow, she's not wearing much of anything. And immediately the temperature of several of the men in the room go up a couple degrees because she is smoking hot, and she's putting everything on display for you to kind of see. And you're like, wow, she's gorgeous. She's probably a notch above almost every woman in the place when it comes to beauty. And she is just giving off this sex appeal at the time. She comes striding up, seems to be looking around for someone.
And we don't or I don't have
I'm
any
just
clue
like,
who this is.
I
Or
asked the lady who's like I've been talking with. Who the hell is that?
Okay, give me lore checks. This is definitely a lore check time.
I wonder if he would know.
rolling like butt tonight.
Me too.
It's alright, it makes it more fun for me.
I got 3.
I know.
What?
I got
What'd
a
you
get?
6.
3. Okay. 0.
0.
0.
Wait, is that our total success or
The total number, what'd you get?
with adding my skill?
Your lore plus your dice roll.
Yeah.
Okay, 6.
6.
Well, everybody's so low. I thought I did something wrong.
Okay.
I have a
I
lore of
rolled-
1,
I've
and I
rolled
rolled a
2.
negative one.
Well,
Okay.
one and
Jody,
I rolled a
do you remember
negative
from the
one.
books who
Yes.
this is?
It's a werewolf.
No, it's not.
No? Okay.
You don't know who
no,
this
I don't.
Okay, you
I
don't
don't
remember the
remember.
books. All right.
Never
You're
mind.
standing there and
No idea.
the woman sees you kind of eyeballing her, and she immediately changes direction and walks over towards you. And the guy beside her is like sizing you up and down like a piece of meat. And she walks over and she says, "I'm looking for the Autumn Knight. Have you seen him?"
No.
You haven't seen the Autumn Knight. Stop lying to me, little human.
I haven't seen him in the last 5 minutes.
And in the last 5 minutes. So he's here.
Maybe.
And she kind of narrows her eyes at, "I'm going to need you to make a discipline check." Okay?
You're good at this one.
Yeah, you're great. Oop.
Wow.
You're
Good
good at
guess.
this one.
I have a 4.
Okay. She looks at you, and you immediately can feel like a chill wind coming off of you. And,
I think my thoughts that I used with the fear thing.
huh? You what? Oh, okay. So you're trying to steel yourself against
Yeah, because I'm
it keeps getting colder and colder near you, and she's kind of
I
looking
refuse
at
to
you.
shiver.
Well, you only got a +4, so you're having trouble. At which point, Legba reaches up and puts his arm through yours, and immediately the sensation ends. Okay, and you're not cold anymore. And she turns and looks at him and says, "All of these local upstart spirits. Have you seen the Autumn Knight?" And he looks at her and says, "He's in the house. We're on our best behavior here. Remember that." And she goes, "I just want to talk." And so she goes storming up towards the house. Jody, that's the Maeve.
Oh,
The youngest of the
Yes.
Winter women, yes,
Yes.
of the Winter Court.
Winter Court. Yeah.
Yeah. She goes striding up to the house. You're kind of looking around, and she's coming up there. She bursts into the doors. The guy behind her is Lloyd Slate. If you remember, he was a thoroughly unkind, not nice guy. Even the Winter women didn't want to be around him because of the terrible things he did to them. Yeah, he was awful, awful fellow. So yeah, she comes striding in the door, sees you in the other room, and comes walking towards you very purposefully. Lloyd is behind her in his jacket. He's kind of looking you up and down. You notice that Swift bristles immediately and steps kind of to your side. You see him kind of like he wants to reach up and put his armor on and draw his sword or something like that. He's worried. And she says, "Autumn Knight, I hear you are the defender of the upstart court that has started in this city."
Yeah.
Well, as a queen of the Winter Fae, let me welcome you to the family. Though, I do have an offer for you to take to your king. We would love to have the Autumn Court join the Winter Fae rather than being separate. We can offer them our protection and our aid in time of need. Otherwise, I can't promise anything.
Okay.
I'm going to need you to make a
You can do it really, really high. You can get all
A rapport check.
pluses. Here comes 4 pluses. 4 pluses. Boom.
1.
Okay. She's kind of knocked you off your kind of knocked you back a bit because she's making a very, veiled threat that you should join her else. And it's a little intimidating. She's a bit scary, and it's really hard to think with her little dress the way she is. And the guy behind her is scary. You notice that he keeps kind of reaching down to his belt and putting his hand on the hilt of this knife or something that he's wearing there and looking at you, and he's kind of looking at your throat, and you're kind of like, he's measuring me for a casket. Swift is just bristling. I mean, he really wants to just take this guy down. And so there's just kind of this little bit of a standoff. The woman in red behind you is kind of looking at this, trying to figure out what's up. And she has taken a couple steps back.
That might be smart.
Yeah. And she says, well, the offer is there. At which point, this gorgeous woman in a beautiful gown, sequins and diamonds and stuff like that, comes up and steps up and says, it's so good that you could join us, Queen Maeve. I'm so glad you're here. You received the invitation then. And Lloyd Slate, so nice to see you. And he kind of looks her up and down and like he wants to just chew her up and spit her out in a lot of different ways. And she says, yes, I appreciate the invitation. And he says, and so she looks at him and says, or looks at her and says, well, remember, as a signature of the Sealy Accords, we're all on our best behavior here. And so Maeve looks at her and goes, I know, and we wouldn't want to cause any problems. Well, I'm not sure how long we'll be staying anyway, since I've delivered my message. Miss Bella. Well, I'll be getting something else to drink. And so she wanders off. At which point, the woman turns towards you and says, I don't think we've been formally introduced. My name is Bella St. Clair.
Bunk.
Charmed. And so she, puts her hand out and, you can shake it. She says, welcome to the Devonees Mansion. Very interesting. You've drawn the attention of Maeve, the queen of the Winter Fae. Well, one of the queens. Interesting. If you don't mind me asking, what has drawn her attention to you so much?
I mean,
I'm a good-looking dude.
This.
You have a very nice suit. I agree. And, you notice that Swift has kind of stepped behind you and is out of the way so you can talk to this woman. And he's visibly relaxed. And so she says, well, I hadn't thought that was what it was about. But if it is, let me tell you that the Winter Fae have very interesting appetites when it comes to mortals, and especially of the sexual kind. So be careful. You wouldn't be the first mortal to wake up 100 years later, and you've only spent a night in a fairy mound, as we've all read about in the folklore. So be careful. Her kind can be duplicitous and difficult to deal with.
I mean, you jealous a little bit?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Just warning you to be careful. She is on her best behavior.
Sure.
Yeah. And then she goes, huh, nice picture. And she kind of wanders out and heads on out. She's got a glass of wine in one hand. Anybody else doing anything else?
I think, did we all witness that whole interaction?
No, it was in the house, in one of the sitting rooms, so it was kind of out of the public eye. You may have felt the temperature in the house go down by about 10 degrees, but that's probably not the only thing you noticed.
When they all
chilly.
walked away, I turned to Swift and I go, what the?
Well, there's two fairy courts, winter and summer,
Right.
And they're kind of at odds with each other. If we have a large contingent of fae, wild fae, whichever side we throw our lot in with, it could tip the balance of power. We're a small group right now, but as more and more people join the Autumn People, or more and more fae join the Autumn People, we will definitely be someone that will be courted by both courts, or be threatened by both courts. We have to be careful. We definitely should let the king know that the Winter Queen has shown up in person with the Winter Knight in tow to deliver a message.
That was the Winter Night.
That's the Winter Knight, your counterpart in the Winter Court.
They have bad choices.
Yeah.
He is not a nice fellow. I have heard stories of him. His depravity and violence are legendary among the Fae.
So, all right. So I'm getting bad vibes off of them. Is the
Yeah.
summer court any better?
Yes, the summer court tends to be a little bit less, wear diamonds and make threats, but they're just as dangerous. The winter court is the court of ice and, cold and wind. But the summer court is the court of life and sunlight and passion. But remember, an Ebola virus is unchecked, is just as dangerous as a snowstorm. So we'll have to be careful. Bleeding eyes and orifices and things like that. So I'm glad you brought me tonight. I'll definitely have your back for you.
Yeah.
He looks a little nervous, and you're not. Probably, if push comes to shove, the only person who's going to be able to take down Lloyd Slate is going to be you. Swift will definitely help you, but he's not going to be up to the challenge because this guy's wearing the Winter Knight's mantle like you're wearing the Autumn People mantle. So yeah. Any other thing else?
No, I'm just
Keeping watch.
Yeah.
just hanging out with old Anne Marie.
Yeah. She definitely finds a place to sit down and have a few drinks of wine. Starts kind of relaxing a little bit once you get away from some of the people. There's a metal bench that's underneath one of the trees. The servants are kind of moving around, bringing glasses of wine to people or beer. A few hours go by. Several different songs are played. The musicians change out, and now you've got kind of a guy who looks like he's setting up a DJ station. Going to be playing a little more modern music, so that'd be nice. It gets towards about 11:30, and you notice that Bella St. Clair has stepped to the middle of the gathering, and she raises her glass and kind of taps it with one of her fingernails, and everybody kind of turns and looks at it. Well, at least the people who are in the Devonees turn towards and look towards her. Sydney St. Clair, of course, being there as well. And she says, "If I could have your attention, please. I would like to thank you for coming to our little soiree. And of course, we will be here till the early parts of the morning. But it's almost midnight, and as you know, on midnight is the gift-giving time. So I would like, if you have a specific gift for someone, please go ahead and take it to them. And the rest of you will be receiving gifts from the anonymous pile that's at the gate. I'll have the servants distribute them to you." And so you notice the servants are coming out with these little packages and things like that, handing everybody a gift. It looks like everybody's gotten one, even the plus ones. Okay, everybody gets a gift. So your gift, when they bring it over to you, is this long box. It's really weird, and you're kind of like, who brings that to a gift, as a gift? So everybody gets their gifts and stuff like that. About 15 minutes it takes for everybody to get their boxes, and they're all wrapped and things like that. You do see your gifts. Did you relinquish your gift? Was that right? You do see your gift handed out to someone, and had you relinquished your gift to? And it gets handed out to someone as well. You're not sure who, but you do see it go out towards. There's probably about 100 people here. So around 11:45. Everything's distributed, and Bella St. Clair goes, "If you would open your gifts, please. So let's see what you got. And please, if you want to, please share what you've received." And so everybody starts, untying bows. It gets a little noisy as people start untying bows and ripping packages.
People
Yeah,
sharing.
yeah, right. Well, no, I mean,
You won't see
yeah.
everything.
I got a rock.
Yeah.
You got it right. Let's
I
see.
don't open mine. I wait for Anastasia to open hers first.
Go ahead, open your gifts.
Throw it
Please
at me.
share what you got. This is
Anastasia.
drugs.
Anastasia opens hers, and it's this beautiful diamond necklace. Looks like it's probably several $1,000s. And she says, "Oh, that's beautiful. Would you mind putting it on me?"
Yeah.
And so she puts it on, and it's, it kind of comes around. It's got nice little diamonds. It's very pretty. And she says, "Oh, I love it. That's beautiful."
Let's say really brings out or you really bring out the beauty in it.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, something like
So smooth.
So smooth. And she smiles.
That really
and-
got us getting
Yeah.
lost.
Because really he's like, diamonds, I can
Diamonds,
use that.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
how do I get
Here, I'll
them
hold on
more?
to them for you.
Yeah. The class is not all the way shut,
You notice that several people open their gifts. Some of the gifts are like little tiny boxes. You think they're maybe jewelry or something like that. Let's see. You gonna open yours, Bunk?
Of course.
You open this huge package, and inside is a trombone case.
Ooh, cool.
That was specific.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't
You
like
gonna open it?
Suspicious.
Sure.
This is
Beautiful. Looks like a trombone, and you notice that engraved. There's a little engraved, placard inside the case, and it says Louis Armstrong.
Stop it.
He played trumpet, didn't he?
Trumpet, yeah.
But he also played trombone.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with that
We'll
anyway.
go with that.
My story. So yeah, it says Louis Armstrong. Darwin,
wow.
you're over there, and Anne Marie opens her box, and it's a picture of a young girl, dark skin, and she immediately stiffens and looks nervous. She says, "Oh my God!"
A black
oh my
and
God.
white picture or like a
Black
color
and white picture.
Black and white, okay.
It's a picture. Looks like someone took one sitting outside a house. Like someone was taking pictures. It's obviously not staged.
Right.
It's like a surveillance picture. And she says, she starts shaking a little bit, trembling. She says, "It's my granddaughter. They found her."
I don't know her family setup. Is this a good thing? This doesn't seem like a good thing.
No, it's terrible. I've been keeping her hidden so that they didn't know where she was. They found her.
This is essentially a threat.
Yeah, very much so. You gonna open your package?
Somebody doesn't understand what present means.
Yeah.
I think they understand.
How big is my package?
It's small. It's
Okay.
about this big. It's kind of flat. Looks like
I
it
don't
may
know
be a
sure
watch.
how big it is.
Well,
You can open it.
find out later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna open it.
You
Gonna make
open
it
it,
grand.
and it's a sheaf of papers. And it's made out to this LLC, and it looks like bank statements, and it shows all these deposits, and the final statement is just over $1 million. You recognize where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Somebody's got the financial information on you guys' charitable LLC, which is a little weird.
I brought an actual gift here. I don't know.
These guys are jerks.
I feel like that.
Yeah, I know, right? Mm-hmm. Volt,
I guess I'll open mine up.
you also find a bank statement from your LLC that shows exactly the expenditures and the money that's going in and out, stuff like that. So somebody has definitely targeted you with
And
that.
these are anonymous?
Yeah, nobody who knows who they came from. Well, who runs the party?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, they could.
Is she here?
Who, Bella St. Clair? Oh yeah, she's remember the one standing in the middle who just drew an order and had the gifts handed out.
I do want to hold up the parchment and just trying to catch her eye, like do a little spark burst on the parchment
And make it burn.
and stare directly into her soul.
I was thinking you were gonna zap her.
You're doing intimidation, right? Give me an intimidation.
Oh sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make a statement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you can make a statement. Easy. Yeah.
Not hot. I'm gonna burn this to get a +2,
Okay.
and I'm gonna burn my super inspiration thing to get another +2,
Mm-hmm.
which will bring me to a 4.
Okay.
Because I rolled not so much.
Right. You are not sure you get much a reaction from her. She notices. Okay.
The biggest thing is her to notice.
Yeah, she notices, but she doesn't seem concerned, or she doesn't wink at you or do anything, smarmy like that. But she does notice. You do notice. You're sure she does. Miranda, yours is a bigger box. You gonna open it?
Am I noticing all of? I guess I wouldn't. Okay,
No, probably not. Probably not.
Yeah. Like, oh goody. I hope I didn't get my own necklace.
You open it. No, it's not. It's not. It's a different package. You open it. There's this like little velvet box. Well, there's a wooden box, like maybe for a jewelry box or something like that. It's about this big. Maybe someone would put like a jewelry or a ring or a necklace or something into it. But it looks very old. Like a wooden jewelry box, not one like these little boxes like you buy in a store.
Like carving or anything. Is there anything in the box?
You can open it.
Yeah.
Okay, you open it. Lying in the box is what looks like a straight razor.
Like for shaving?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. First thing I thought was just you're gonna open a little jewelry box thing, and it's just like a note saying "Stop giving diamonds to random people."
Yeah, you're flooding the market.
Does it look like an antique, or can I?
You get that feeling. It's actually got the little velvet, cutout in there, so the thing fits perfectly into the velvet cutout, and it looks old.
Okay, so it's just a nice antique, or am I sensing any sinister intent?
You're
behind
not
this
sure. I mean, it's just.
Touch it.
It looks like a straight razor or something. Yeah, you're not really sure.
Edit.
Yeah, no sparks coming off of it when I touch it. Nothing like
Oh,
that.
you touch it.
Oh, do
good.
I? Yeah.
All right, I need you to make a discipline check.
No.
Okay.
I don't wanna.
You can do it.
Remember, I get to add the +1 when I'm doing anything to.
Right. No,
Aid
you
my
do.
friends.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Is this really aiding us? I don't know.
If it's doing something not aiding you, that's well. That brings me 2 with my -1. Depending on whether or not it applies to the scenario, it's a -1 or a 0.
No, I'll let you apply it. That's fine. So it's a 0?
0.
Ooh, my. Alrighty. You have just been the recipient of a Strength 10 mental attack.
Okay,
Okay.
I have an armor +2, but I don't know if that applies to a mental
No, it
attack.
doesn't.
Okay.
Here's what happens. You touch the razor, and it's like it leaps into your hand, and you are standing there, and you're like, all of a sudden, voices start flooding into your head, and you've heard voices like this before, and it keeps telling you that you don't even have a real sword of the cross. There's only 3 swords of the cross. This isn't even a real one. You're obviously a dupe. Your church is full of pedophiles and people who are wealthy who take advantage of the poor, and so you just are kind of like, it's right. That's right. It's just terrible. I can't believe it. So now to soak this damage, because you've got mental. It's a Strength 10 hit. You're gonna have to take. Oh
5,
dear.
4, and a 1.
No, she's gonna have to take a 6, a Strength 6, which is a severe mental consequence.
Okay, I have an ability called Desperate Hour.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is it.
Okay.
Yeah, you're there.
Do I need to read that?
Yeah, go ahead and read it to me because I'm not sure what it does.
In times of desperate need, you may call out a prayer and the aid from the divine. At any time you are hit by an attack that requires you to take a severe or extreme consequence to avoid being taken out, you may make such a prayer. And then the rest of it is just saying that you can also do it on behalf of someone else.
So what does it allow you to do exactly again? I'm sorry.
Avoid being taken out by a severe or extreme consequence.
Okay.
You may make such a prayer. You may also call upon this prayer in the scene where a friend or ally or innocent victim is taken out, forced to concede, or otherwise suffer a lasting, terrible fate.
Okay. I'll let you do that. You're not going to be taken out. You don't have to take the severe consequence. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you're standing there and you've been
I
attacked.
do still take the severe?
No, you don't.
Do not. Okay.
Okay. You'll see why in a minute. All right. So Gabriel looks at you and goes, "Miranda, what's wrong? What's wrong?" And you
Well,
kind of from this way up, this kind of muffled voice is saying, "Miranda, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And you can kind of hear somebody saying something like that, and so you grab your sword out, your sword of the cross, and say, "It's all just lies!" And you slam it down on the ground, and the blade shatters. And everybody kind of looks over at you, and Gabriel goes, "Oh my gosh, what just happened? We got to get you out of here." And so he grabs you, and you can see he grabs his phone, and he's calling probably an Uber, and he grabs you and kind of wraps you up, and the straight razor kind of falls from your hand, and he's looking around, and you notice that the very pale woman with the 2 dark-haired guys behind her has just looked up in all of your directions. Okay, well, she's looked at
That's been waiting for
you.
She sprouts 5 heads and looks at all of them.
You. No, she looks at you, and Swift. Okay, and she's looking around. But when she sees you shatter the sword, she gets this kind of little smirk on her face. Now you're just in the throes of despair, okay?
Yeah.
And he grabs you, whisks you out to this taxi and starts taking you home, okay? Let's see, who has not opened theirs? You've opened yours. Have you opened yours? Okay. You've got a little small, looks like a jewelry box.
But I didn't see this, right? Because I'm somewhere else. or
No,
did
you
I
saw
see-
this.
Okay. Okay.
All of you saw, and you heard the ringing of the sword as it shattered. I mean, because it gives out this pure crystal kind of angelic
Right.
ring that everybody hears. The entire party stops and looks, and then wonders what's up, and yeah, that's it. Yeah,
The sword shattered, or the
the sword,
Yeah.
the blade of the sword of the
Wow.
cross has shattered, which it's the only thing to destroy a sword is your sword, which is a sword of hope, is the opposite emotion to be wielded in opposite, which is despair. So there you go. Now, you have opened the box, right? Or are you going to open the box? These boxes are fun, aren't they?
Bruh.
You said I saw this?
Yeah, you saw this.
Bruh.
Yeah. Gabriel has grabbed her, has wrapped her up in his, kind of his coat, and he's
But
taking her out to the
here's
taxi.
my question: do I recognize that it was what she opened is what caused this? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because if it is,
Give me an
I'm
alertness
not
check.
opening my
Give me an
box.
alertness check. You're not. I'm not sure. Okay. You notice that
have
something in the box caused her to act that way.
4.
Yeah.
+4.
Yeah, you notice that something in the box caused her to act that way. So she touched something in the box. In fact, you see her drop something to the ground, and besides the pieces of her sword, it looks very distinctively like what looked like a straight razor.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna open the box at all?
Not at all.
Okay. You and Swift and you are standing. Well, you're kind of standing across the room, and Bella St. Clair is kind of standing in the middle of the room. She's sipping her watching people open. Most
she
of the
the
gifts
one-
everybody seems to be having a good time with. Okay.
Is she the one that's smiling?
No,
Okay.
that was the other woman who
Right.
had her mask.
Yeah.
She pulls her mask off, and her name is Lauren Scatus. Okay. She pulls her mask off, walks up to Bella St. Clair, and starts looking around. And she goes, "Code Dwello! I demand Code Dwello! Those who killed my brother Marcel! I demand Code Dwello! A duel to the death!"
I full on dragon fly down.
You didn't kill him.
Oh no, we were part of it, weren't we?
Was it me?
It was you, Swift, and Della.
Yeah, because I wasn't part of that.
Yeah, you were in the hallway, remember?
Yeah, we were just
right.
holding on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but we were the party who sacked the people. I don't know.
Yeah. So she turns
Never
and
mind.
She
I
turns and
don't do
looks,
that
and
then,
she
I guess.
sees you, and she says, "Warden, I demand a Code Dwello with you and your friends who killed my brother.
Your brother attacked us first.
Doesn't matter. I demand satisfaction." And so Bella St. Clair says, "Now wait. There is actually, I'm sorry. Sydney St. Clair comes up and says, wait. Code Dwello has rules. You can't just attack someone because you're mad at them. If you're going to choose a time and a place, and then those who are accused get to choose the weapons. So what is your time and place, Miss Scabies?" And she says, "Here, now."
You can objectify me as a weapon if you'd like.
And so you're standing there, and
You did that to my friend.
and she looks at you and says, "Then pull your sword and let's get started."
Didn't you have some kind of rules here?
And so Bella looks at you and says, I didn't
And
give her the
Sydney?
gift. And Sydney says, "Wait, that was your friend with the sword?"
Yes, we were promised a safe time here tonight.
And she looks at Bella and Sydney. Well, Bella looks at you and says, "I'm not sure who gave that gift to your friend.
Is that our problem? Isn't it yours? You invited everyone here.
If we didn't give the gift, I'm not at fault. Now, I can try and find out who brought the gift, and then you can take it up with them."
Oh, I think you should find out who brought the gift. In fact,
She says, I'll do it.
I know who brought the gift.
Who? You point at Lauren Skavis. She says, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't bring any gifts tonight. So, but anyway, she's demanding Code Dwello. You come outside, possibly, with Swift?
So outside of the to understand the Code Dwello.
Yeah.
Is that basically like somebody threatening with a duel, like slapping with the glove?
Well, okay.
demanding that
Code
you do
Dwello,
it?
Code Dwello is, again, one of the rules of the Sealy Accords. If someone feels wronged by a party, they can demand a duel. And so the person who demands the duel chooses the time and the place, and then the
And
person...
you're obligated whether you were...
If you don't accept the duel, you're essentially saying that you're guilty, which means that the Sealy Accord says that they can do what they will with you, kind of.
All right, because I just want to... Because I came here and was told not to, like, make waves. So
Right.
Okay,
And so
right.
you kind of probably step out on the porch, and she goes, and you two.
Could you challenge them to a battle?
That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say rap battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks at you and says, you two, I also challenge you. And just because there's 3 of you, don't think that'll be enough. And you notice that the 2 dark-haired guys that are behind her kind of step up behind her. So it looks like there's 3 of them and 3 of you.
Is this how it goes, the rule? You can
It
have 3
can
and 3
be.
instead
It
of
can
2?
be, yes.
Fine.
If you remember, in the Dresden Files book, there's 2 Code Dwellos. The first one was when Dresden was fighting. He was challenged to a Code Dwello by Ortega, Duke Ortega, the king of the Red... Well, not king of the Red Court. He was a Duke of the Red Court. The other one was when, ironically enough, Dresden and Ramirez fought a Code Dwello against 2 White Court vampires. One of them happened to be from House Scabies, and the other from Malvora, I believe. So just a bit of a parallel there. Yeah, so, yeah, she's demanding a Code Dwello here and now.
All right, so I look at you. Bring it.
Yeah. I
What-
mean,
We accept.
You're required to have seconds, and the seconds are supposed to make sure that nothing... that no one, cheats, okay, is what it is. So you're choosing Bunk. You're choosing Volt, sorry.
I'm choosing Darwin because Miranda...
Yeah.
It's gone.
And so Swift is kind of looking around.
oh, yeah. It's
Oh, I
just,
should have chosen Swift.
No,
I'm going to choose
Swift
Swift.
Swift is in the duel.
is
Part of it.
Yeah,
He's
Swift-
part of the
that's
duel.
right, okay.
Remember, his arrow was the first one that hit.
Yeah.
And so Swift is kind of looking around, and funnily enough... No. Maeve walks up and says...
Oh, no.
I'll be your second. And she kind of winks at Swift. And Swift is like, oh. And he says, I accept. And she kind of gets this weird smirk on her face. And she says, trust me, and pats him on the cheek. I'll make sure no one cheats. Oh, God. Now, what weapons are you going to choose?
My sword.
So physical weapons, which you can choose magic and swords and stuff like that. Generally, it's either something like weapons, magic. It can be will, or it can be something along the lines of whatever weapons are at hand. It's kind of flexible.
Trombone battle is what I want.
Battle of the bands.
Baby.
Yeah, I don't know that you really want Della on your team for that. She's not so band
I
oriented.
may not do my... I'm going to use
What
my
weapons are
sword.
at hand?
All my magic is like defensive, like the ice knives and knocking people down and whatnot.
Ice
so.
knives cut. Well, the ice knives is how you killed Marcel, if you remember. That's
that's
not
true.
defensive. That's an attacky thing.
Oh, then I'll do my magic then.
Okay.
I have
Well,
better
you can
stats
just
for that.
you can just choose weapons at hand, and that means that whatever you're carrying, you're allowed to use. Which means your pistol is fair game. So and Swift, of course, will have his bow and his armor and sword. All right.